Nature is ruthless. Whether it's the icy mountains or rainforest you are traversing, a minor misadventure can lead to tragedy. When it comes to claiming lives, the great green outdoors is unstoppable. One harrowing story that involves the wonder and horrors of nature is that of Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon, who perished while on a hike at the Continental Divide near the rainforest of Boquete, Panama. Authorities said that it may have been an accident, but questions about what actually happened to them remain. How did an exciting hike turn into a gruesome nightmare? The puzzling events started with two young girls hungry for breathtaking adventures. Kris and Lisanne were good friends, roommates, and workmates at a local cafe in Amsterdam. They saved up for 6 months just to be able to afford a 6-week vacation in Panama, and also as a form of celebration for Lisanne, who just recently graduated with her degree in applied sciences. Apart from enjoying a long holiday, they planned to study Spanish and step up their humanitarian efforts by volunteering at a local school. They arrived in Panama on March 15, 2014. Before heading to the small village of Boquete for a 4-week stay, they toured Bocas del Toro first and enjoyed countless hours at the beach. Here are some of their photos in the Bocas del Toro province. Their vacation, indeed, started perfectly. On March 29th, Lisanne and Kris arrived in Boquete, where they lived with a host family and were scheduled to do some child volunteering work. However, upon arrival at the school, they were told that no volunteer work is available at that time, so they decided to just hike and explore around while waiting. Boquete is a picturesque village surrounded by green highlands, making it a popular destination for both local and international tourists. It is a wonderful alternative to the usual tropical surroundings found in the other provinces of Panama. A perfect place for young adventurers thirsty for some fun, as well as a relaxing retirement place for several North Americans. On April 1st, Lisanne and Kris posted on Facebook about their plan to explore the mountains and meet up with fellow Dutch tourists for brunch. They stopped posting on their social media accounts the moment they started the hike, but continued taking photos using a digital camera. The sunny weather was perfect for a thrilling exploration. Alongside their host family's Siberian husky named Blue, they eagerly took on the mystical El Pianista Trail around 11 a.m. The El Pianista Trail has over 2,000 feet of elevation and is just 4 kilometers away from Boquete. The early parts of this trail consist of vast open fields with beautiful mountains on the sides. It's like an invitation to the wonderful ranges ahead. Here are the girls at the beginning of the El Pianista Trail hike, reveling in nature's company. Lisanne and Kris wore tank tops and shorts and a backpack containing essential items. They dressed appropriately and packed well enough for a few hours of hiking. It wasn't meant to be a long, time-consuming climb after all. It takes a fit person 2.5 to 3 hours of walking to reach the summit. This means going back and forth to Boquete would only take 5 to 6 hours. We all know that things didn't go out as planned. The smiles on their faces as they took on the beginnings of the trail unquestionably didn't last. That evening, the dog returned home without the two girls. Their host family was immediately concerned. It was noted that both Lisanne and Kris stopped sending messages to their parents, which they have been doing daily to take away their worries. The following day, April 2nd, they missed their appointment with a local guide. It wasn't until the next day that aerial forest inspections were done by authorities. Even with the help of a lot of residents, there was no sign of any of them. On April 6th, their parents arrived in Panama together with Dutch investigators, police, and dog units for a more thorough, longer search operation. For 10 days, they conducted a full-scale search of the mountains. A reward of $30,000 was also offered to anyone who can give information about their whereabouts. No evidence was found until 10 weeks later, when a local woman from the Nagobe tribe found a blue backpack near a rice paddy, close to the banks of the Culebra River and the remote Alta Romero village. She was sure that the bag wasn't there the day before. This is around 17 kilometers from Boquete and 8 kilometers from the La Pianista Trail summit. It was an estimated 8-hour walk from the girls' last known location and is known to be so hard to hike on foot. The bag was in good dry condition despite being found near the river. In the bag were $83 in cash, 2 bras, a water bottle, and 2 pairs of sunglasses. It also held Lisanne's passport, Canon PowerShot SX270 digital camera, and both of their phones, an iPhone and a Samsung Galaxy. Loved ones and investigators hope that pieces of evidence recovered from this bag can lead them to their exact location. However, the details they uncovered just resulted in a deeper mystery. Several fingerprints were recovered, but none yielded serious leads. By going through their call logs, authorities were able to trace back their footsteps and unravel the chain of events. On April 1st, the first day of the hike, both of their mobile phones tried to connect to the emergency lines. It appears that something alarming occurred at 4:39 p.m., the time of the first attempted emergency call. The following day, the attempt to make emergency calls reached 4 times. Their phones have remained in service for around 10 days after they disappeared. In 4 days, there were multiple attempts to call the police and emergency services. Only one managed to make contact, yet broke up after just 2 seconds. Due to the faulty signal in the dense forest, none of the other calls went through. Each day, an effort to find a signal was made. Moreover, their mobile phones were powered on and off intermittently, most likely to conserve battery life. Between April 5th and 7th, Lisanne's battery had run out. Kris's phone was the only one left with power. According to officials, someone attempted to access Kris's phone 77 times. For every try, the person was entering the wrong PIN code. If you think that these calls are creepy, wait until you see the camera images. Of the 133 consecutive photos found in Lisanne's Canon PowerShot SX270, 1 image was deleted. Dutch investigators tried to recover this photo, but they failed. Moreover, since the camera has no GPS feature, they can only guess the exact locations based on the visible environment. It appears that they reached the El Pianista summit around 1 p.m. and celebrated the amazing feat through a series of selfies. They proved to be fast walkers, reaching the summit in only around 2 hours. For some reason, Lisanne and Kris decided to walk past the summit instead of heading back. This image was taken after they walked beyond the peak and down again in the deeper jungles. This is the last photo taken on April 1st. At this point, it is assumed that they kept walking further into the forests and possibly got lost. What happened to them afterwards is not known. Only speculations emerging from eerie nighttime photos taken on April 8th, at least 1 week after they got lost and after their last known photo was taken. Maybe they are using the camera's flash feature to see in the dark to conserve the phone's batteries. That explains the series of weird flash photos taken in the dark as a light source. Around 90 photos were taken in unknown areas in total darkness 8 days after they went missing. Here are some of them. Take note that the girls forgot to change their camera settings, thus the wrong year and time in the photos. Perhaps the most haunting of all images is a photo of Kris's hair. It looks clean and dry, surprisingly strange for someone who had been in the jungle for days without a soft pillow to sleep on. There is also no head wound visible. With the uncovering of the baffling photos, investigators felt that they needed to step up their search efforts. Around 14 hours of walk time from the area where the bag was discovered, Kris's jean shorts were found. A few months after that, 33 bone fragments, including a pelvic bone, were found. DNA testing proved that the remains belonged to Lisanne and Kris. Kris's boot was also discovered, with her foot still inside. Her bones still had some skin attached to them, while Kris's bones appeared to have been breached. Were they attacked by someone or simply perished naturally in the wilderness? The police said that Kris probably fell first, and then her friend tended to her. Soon, Lisanne too fell, broke her foot and ankle, and then died. Then, their remains were probably eaten by wild animals, which explains their scattered remains. Is that all there is? Probably they researched the area before hiking. They thought they still have the time and energy to carry on and explore a waterfall deeper in the forest. While the girls are known to be meticulous planners, they were not prepared for a longer hike. They have no survival gear nor food. Even experienced hikers who take on popular trails bring specialist equipment with them. They prepare tents, rainproof clothing, and lots of other supplies that can last for many days. They even paid local guides to help them traverse the mountain safely. Today, Warning signs are already placed near the same area to discourage hikers from walking further without a local guide. Many don't believe that what happened was merely an accident. Some think that men targeted them and followed them in the woods, then made it look like it was an accidental death. The lost image in the camera is also a menacing clue that unfortunately led investigators nowhere. Usually, recovering lost images isn't so difficult to do since manually deleted photos are not entirely erased. Some theorize that Panamanian authorities connected the camera to a computer to entirely erase it and make it irretrievable because it has something they didn't want the world to see. Others think the photo was erased by their murderers. The missing photo appears to be a very important shot and that the memory card still has tons of space left. The emergency calls started around the time the missing shot was made, or was this a mere coincidence? Another theory is that they were attacked by a wild animal, specifically a cougar. Cougars roam the area and are known to have attacked humans in the past, but none of the recovered bone fragments have abrasions or marks on them. According to Dr. Frank van de Groot, a Dutch pathologist, the area the girls traverse past the Continental Divide is a series of mountain ranges that stretch from South America to North America. It is considered by the guides as jungle hell. Strolling around during the daytime is fine, but once you walk around there in the dark, it's game over. Did the women die merely because of the dangerous jungle conditions, or was there something else out there? A dream vacation concluded by a bloody trek. Until new pieces of evidence are found, there is no way of knowing what exactly happened to them minute by minute.